In the 19th century, thousands of people, including many reputable scientists, accepted as scientific fact that all aspects of a person's character had a physical manifestation in the shape of the brain, and the shape of the brain determined the shape of the cranium. They therefore concluded that a trained professional could read a person's character by feeling the bumps on his head, in addition to examining other physical attributes. This science was known as phrenology. Phrenology was particularly popular in America, even when most of the scientific community abandoned it in the later 19th century. It was still widely practiced and believed in by ordinary Americans well into the 20th century, and this included Charles Taze Russell. Without claiming that phrenology has reached a perfection of development, without claiming that Eddie has learned to read accurately from the shape of the human skull the various traits of character therein represented, even while admitting that such a reading of character might be defective, and particularly so with those whose characters have been transformed by the renewing of their minds through the begettal of the Holy Spirit. Nevertheless, we may admit that phrenology so far as understood fully corroborates the picture given us in the arrangement of the tabernacle of Israel surrounded by the camp. If we imagine the human skull as spread out flat, we find that the central part would correspond to the tabernacle and its court. For in the very center of the head on top lies spirituality, and directly in front of it lies veneration. The latter organ would correspond well to the court, the former to the holy. As to enter the holy, it was necessary to pass through the court, so to enter into a proper head appreciation of the spiritual things, it is necessary that we enter in through veneration, reverence for God, which will lead us to worship Him and to seek, to know, and to do His will. Yeah, right, Pastor Russell. Phrenology. Now I can really understand why Jesus chose the Watchtower Society in 1918. Some have a strong desire to worship God, others have a weak desire, and others have no desire at all. This difference is due to the shape of the brain. Mankind are born with differences in this respect. Various imperfections were stamped upon us before our birth. As the scriptures say, there is none righteous, no, not one, for all have sinned and come short of the glory of God. All come short of that standard which God would be pleased to recognize. But amongst mankind there are some who have not lost their reverence, whatever else they may have lost in the unbalance of mind resulting from the fall, or perhaps they have the quality of consciousness or appreciation of justice well developed. You can read the rest. I'm going to go a bit lower here. Man was created in the image of God. The fall has greatly marred that image, but no one is totally depraved. All have unbalanced brains, some in one direction, others in another. When the truth comes in contact with those whose organs of veneration or consciousness are less impaired, they are drawn to investigate it with the hope of being drawn close to God. Those whose organs of veneration and consciousness are more impaired do not have this experience and are not drawn unto God if haply they may find Him. Kind of wacko. Those who are without this drawing influence are not to be blamed, for they were born under those unfavorable conditions. You can keep reading if you want, I'll leave it. Yep, this is coming from Jehovah's Organization. And remember, this was 1913, 1 year before Jesus took kingdom power and then chose the organization in 1918. So, please, Jehovah's Witnesses, if you believe this cute little story from the Watchtower, you have some problems. Understand you're in a man-made organization. The Watchtower lied to you. It's occult, like the Mormons and the Scientology, etc. They lied to you. Get out. If you really believe God is righteous, He wouldn't want you to be in the lying, deceiving, manipulative organization. Hope you appreciate it. Thank you.